Greetings, travelers. Welcome to Planet Buster. Initiating interstellar in-flight sequence. Powering navigation systems. Broadcast signal established. Thrusters at full momentum. Preparing for Planet Buster's launch in 3, 2, 1.
So what are these videos?
Well, they're called ASMR videos.
Okay.
I don't know the acronym. If someone can explain it to me, I have no idea. Basically, it's like these videos of someone just like leaning in close to the mic and trying to talk like this, very soft, and I'm just gonna rub my my face up against the mic, and apparently someone gets off on it like this, and I have no fucking idea why.
Okay. You people need to figure out what it is you want to jerk off to, because there's just too much stuff. Oh yeah, this is Planet Buster, by the way.
It's our new intro.
I'm not. Okay, so Dan and I have definitely been talking. We really like the topics and stuff that we do, but I think what we're going to do for a future deal is kind of just have one of our actual conversations, because we've noticed that when we're not putting on the radio voice and doing everything, we're a hell of a lot funnier. So watch this conversation not be funny at all because I said that. Yeah. But so Dan's telling me about this video, and I don't even care about intros. Yeah, two-headed space monster or whatever. What's the weirdest one of these videos that you've seen?
That's a really tough fucking question, man. I think there was one where this guy was I think it was lip smacking or something like that. It's now you can hear my lips smacking close to the mic, and it's it's soothing, isn't it? It's really soothing. It's no, this is fucking weird. What the fuck?
Okay, so I got a buddy of mine that I met online that which by the way, this is about to set up a million jokes, but a friend of mine that I think I talked about how I EFED. The online wrestling role playing thing, because I'm a nerd. But one of my friends I met through there, he's one of the guys that has a playlist of different audio files, audio settings or whatever to fall asleep to. A lot of vacuum stuff. He puts sounds of vacuums playing to fall asleep and concentrate and stuff. But you know what? Makes sense. I sleep with a fan. I need that noise and stuff when I'm sleeping, so I understand that. But no one is here's the sound of me sticking my tongue in someone else's ear. You're only jerking off to that. There is nobody on the planet who was man, you know what? I need to get some math homework done. Better put on my playlist of guy making spit bubbles and popping them with his lips. What the fuck is wrong with people?
I don't know. YouTube is a weird kind of I say this even though we're on YouTube, hey, it's a weird ground of bizarre trends and totally safe for work porn, if I can describe anything. It's just weird. It's
well, I mean, with the giant trend of K-pop music and stuff like that. That's
or
that's
someone dressing
hey.
in Spider-Man and Elsa and poop eating or
poop.
I have no idea.
I think you're on a different channel, Dan.
I have seen this shit. This shit is directed towards kids. It's fucking weird.
Oh, you're talking about those Spider-Man and Elsa
yes,
videos.
That's what they are. They're it's I don't know what it is. It's just some weird sexual shit.
Because straight up, I thought you were talking about I thought those were separate categories. So I thought you were Spider-Man and Elsa videos and poop eating. So I was Dan just crossed his streams. That's his Spank Bang account. Dan's YouPorn database is just piling out.
I'm actually surprised it's not a fucking category on YouPorn is Spider-Man Elsa. Already.
I mean, they're probably categorized. I promise you, if you win, you know what? Homework, kids. No, I'm just kidding.
We don't need spam of that shit.
I absolutely
okay?
promise you, if you went, honestly, you don't even need to go to a porn website. If you just went on Google and turned the safe search off and typed in like Spider-Man or Elsa, you're gonna get some fucked up stuff.
And that's just with YouTube.
And you know what? This is actually a great, segue, because we literally just got back from seeing Spider-Man: Homecoming, because we're gonna talk about that because it was fucking great. And
Yeah, and it's like, since everyone else is making videos about Spider-Man: Homecoming, well, why not join in the trend?
Oh, yeah,
But by the time we fucking have this out, everyone will already be talking about something else. But fuck it, who cares?
yeah, time for a trend. A week after it comes out.
Well, whatever. It's a fucking Spider-Man movie. Everyone's going to be talking about it, man.
Yeah, I think it's really funny that we saw it a day early, and we're gonna be late on the video.
That is a weird experience. Like, yeah, because for information, this by the time we recorded this one, this is actually the day before it actually opens. And I will say, coming out of it, it's good to have fucking Spider-Man in a good movie for once,
Oh my god. Okay, so if anyone has seen our other videos, I'm not sure, but if you go to Dan's channel and Dan's Video Den, and we talked about Amazing Spider-Man, we've done some in our vlog stuff that we did there, and the first Amazing Spider-Man was weird for us because when we saw it, we liked it. And we were like, oh, nothing bad's gonna happen with this. And then we saw the second one, and it it felt like we got betrayed by a family member. It was just like, we vouched for you. You had a drug problem, but we're like, no, he's getting clean. It's gonna be okay. And then he fucking OD'd, and it was just like, you bastard.
Not even that. He just went back to doing smack, and you're like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah,
I put in a good word for you. I cleaned your shit up. And now what's this? It's my birthday? That's what you're doing?
Yeah.
Fucking the Blue Man, Manhattan is your villain? Really?
Yeah, for real. This is the thing you're doing. And
Green Crackhead is also in the fucking...
the green crackhead. That's so dumb, but it's so late that it's funny.
That's what he looked like. I hate to say it, but that's
he
what
did look like a crackhead. He really did look like a crackhead. But finally, we have Spider-Man done right. We have a Peter Parker that's done right, which is even more important. But everyone else is going to talk about that. Everyone else is going to talk about Spider-Man, Tom Holland's portrayal, which was phenomenal. Top marks, best Spider-Man so far.
Pretty much, if you liked his performance from Civil War, you'll pretty much like this, because it's pretty much an extension of that.
Yeah, it's just like a longer version of those scenes, which, I mean, were some of the more popular scenes in Civil War, so, hey, if you ain't broke, don't fix it. But I wanted to talk about Vulture. I wanted to talk about Michael Keaton as the Vulture, because that was probably the best written Marvel villain that they've done so far, just because he wasn't stupid and wasn't worthless.
Like, they didn't just cast a good actor and have him do villain stuff. There's actually like a character to him. Like, not since Loki, I would want to say, that we've really had a villain in the MCU that's really, well, I mean, as far as the movies, because if we're talking like TV series, Kingpin likes to say hi to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like,
you know,
as
the thing
far
is,
as
like not going off of that, the Netflix villains are just really fucking good. Like for the most part, for every Kingpin, you have a Copperhead. Because I'm flat out, I hated Copperhead and Luke Cage. Cottonmouth was the best thing they had. They should have kept it going.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go on that tangent. But it's good to have villains. Like, the Netflix series was lucky enough because they had a series. So they could develop their villains. Like, they could really get you to get into their mind and understand what's going on. Whereas the movies, they only have a couple hours. And you could still do that in a couple hours. But it's definitely harder, for sure. And with a few scenes, you knew everything Adrian Toomes was about.
Yeah, exactly. You knew his motivation. You bought the reason why he was doing that. I will say one of my kind of complaints in it is that, like, the jump from guy trying to make a living to, like, supervillain is a little rushed in that way. But then again, I understand it's a fucking movie, but still, you still get the main, like, drive of what this guy is doing. So, they never see light to it where he just becomes, like, a cackling, I'm gonna destroy the world. No, he's a guy who salvages shit and then sells it on the black market.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it, too. He's not even, like, a super villain. he's a thief. He's a scavenger. Exactly. He's a vulture.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't catch that. That's
Yeah,
actually
they even alluded to like many times in the movie where it's like they always just give us the pieces and we have to pick up after. It's like
holy shit. He literally was a vulture. That's really good writing. I didn't catch that until right now.
more you know, man.
Yeah, but you're right. It did seem a little rushed, but I think it was such a big thing that it kind of made sense. Because, like, here's a guy who ran his own, I guess, like, you could say waste removal company or something like that.
Something around
and
there,
it
yeah.
your first scene, we're not going to go into too many spoilers on this one, I don't think, just because we're kind of focusing in. But, your first scene takes place right after the battle in New York, with the Chitauri. And he's one of the guys. It's in Grand Central Station,
Yeah.
cleaning up the giant fucking whale thing, and all of a sudden a government agency that's in cahoots with Stark. So here's a guy who had a big job. It was going to change his life, but he was doing it the right way. Blue collar worker, regular guy. He, for this big job, went out. He bought trucks. He hired like twice as many crew members. Like he got a lot of people going, and then all of a sudden, here comes the government and Tony Stark, and just flat out is like, "We're taking this over. You're not getting any money." And he's like, "I could lose my house over this. Like I could lose everything over this." And they're like, "All right, here's the deal. You get out of here, or you're gonna get arrested. Like, or we'll sue you. Like, you're screwed if you stay even more." But he's like, "I'm screwed either way." And it's one of those things where a good villain is always created by the hero. It's always one of those things where the hero's like, well, shit. Now I have to deal with this guy. And it's interesting because as much shit as Iron Man gives, Spider-Man through the whole movie, Iron Man is actually the reason why this villain exists. So it's his fault to begin with.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of shit in the MCU that like Iron Man's kind of responsible for. Like the Soviet
Oh, yeah.
Accords totally would have happened if he didn't make if he didn't make a killer robot.
Yeah, totally. And but like you understood, Toomes, because they didn't play him off like this super scientist. He wasn't trying to take over the world or anything. He just flat out was a guy who had a friend who was really good with technology, or an underling or whatever that was really good at technology and really good at creating stuff. And they worked together with a crew. They stole a bunch of this, like, the stuff that's coming in, like all the magic and the alien tech and all that stuff, and they're making weapons out of it, and they're selling it, to make money. And you can see the new house that he's living in now with his family, and he lives in a really nice house. He lives really well, and he's not even telling his family about it. It's one of those things where he flat out says, "I'm not doing anything to, my family. I'm not going to go into too much of a spoiler. Like, I'm doing this for them."
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't want to bring like real world logic into like fucking comic books.
I mean, but I
but
know,
like
I see where you're
like,
going.
this is a very similar kind of story. Like I don't want to like connect it to like have you ever heard the story of the Iceman?
Yes.
Like that kind of what it reminded me of a little bit.
Yeah.
In that there's this guy who's doing these awful things. Like granted, the guy was actually like a really shitty fucking person who
Oh, he's a
wasn't
horrible
doing it for
person.
just his family, but there was still that always like that double lifestyle.
Yeah,
like
he's a fucking terrifying serial killer.
yeah, and like that's kind of what it reminded me of, or like any of those kind of like crime mafia kind of movies where it's like I'm doing all this shady stuff, but my family doesn't know about it, or I'm trying
Right.
to like help them out, but really I'm just kind of helping myself a little
Yeah.
bit too.
And he's definitely not a man without honor and stuff too. Like you see that come up in the movie. But I think what really sparked it is just like he's not stupid.
No,
and,
he really
and they
isn't.
really show it multiple times. Like I mean, it's how deep do you want to go with spoilers on this one? Because I feel like we can't make the point unless we talk about this scene.
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. We're gonna reveal a spoiler in the movie. This is like gonna be the big kind of spoilers, and I'd say it's because like this actually did get a couple of shocks from the audience when we saw it, and
Yeah, I blew my mind. I was like,
yeah,
oh shit.
and although considering like the time that this podcast is gonna be out, I feel like people are gonna be able to see that. But just in case,
Yeah.
spoiler, go for it.
Okay, so Peter is, crushing on this girl hard through the entire movie. He finally asks her to go out to prom. And when he shows up at the house, who opens the door? It's Vulture. It's Adrian Toomes. It's her dad. And it's one of those things where, you have Peter face to face with the guy who's essentially been trying to kill him the entire movie. And he's very visibly like shaken, and they're in the car, and his daughter's just kind of telling Parker's lies about Parker's trying to lie to Vulture, and his daughter is just kind of like, no, you weren't there, you went out, right? And you could just start to see Toomes' face, kind of like, wait, you weren't there? That's when Spider-Man left. Oh, right. You were in DC too, right? It was real lucky Spider-Man showed up. Oh, where were you? He's like, I was on the ground. Oh, you were. And then it's just one of those things where he's like, yeah, your voice sounds familiar too. And then you see it click in his eyes.
Like,
and
yeah, it's a long awkward car ride that is like really tense, and like it works really perfectly. It's one of the few moments that you actually get to see like a really good villain moment.
Right.
From a villain in an MCU movie. And
it's awesome because you see all these villains that are supposed to be like super geniuses and stuff, and they can never catch on to basic shit. Here's just some guy who's supposed to be clever, and he's just sitting there like, I've heard your voice before. He's like, yeah, I know you. And then when he catches all the things going on, like all the inconsistencies, my favorite shot is like when they're at the light, and the light goes from red to green, like the lights on his suit, and he gets the smile on his face, and he's just like, oh, thank God for Spider-Man. And there's this like that really cool thing where he squares off with him after he tells his daughter to get out when they go to the homecoming dance. Ha 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 ha, that's the name. And he just pulls a gun and he just looks at Peter and he's like, you saved my daughter's life, so I'm gonna let you live. I'm gonna let you walk out of this car, and I'm gonna let you go in there and have a good time. Don't fuck with me. He's just flat out like, leave me alone. Don't interfere with my business. You will live. He's like, if you fuck with me again, I will kill you and I will kill everyone you love. Like, flat out, he's just like, I will murder your entire fucking family, all your friends, everyone. He's like, he's gonna Uncle Ben his entire cast. And that's where you get this really cool moment with, that's a good Spider-Man to a good Peter Parker, because he's been told, like, hey, you can have everything. You can have the girl who, you really care about, the girl who you think is really cute and she likes you back and everything. You can go in there, have a really fun time. You can gain the popularity you want. You can have this good life that you want. As long as you leave me alone. As long as you don't stop this crime. And Parker walks in and is just flat out, I gotta go. Immediately. There's not even like a second where he hesitates. It's just flat out, I'm gonna go stop this guy. And that's where you see these two characters do really well. But I think that was the scene where I looked at Vulture and I was just like, this dude is awesome. This is a great fucking villain.
Yeah, it's a good performance because, again, it plays on the tension of this awkward situation of these two people have fought each other. It's very Spider-Man. It is pretty much Spider-Man because, like, most Spider-Man villains always end up being someone he knows or the father of somebody he knows, or father of his girlfriend, or father of his friend, or friend turned to mutant, or brother who is basically of a girlfriend that he likes.
Fair.
That is a cousin or some shit like that.
Fair.
That's always the thing, and there's always that like kind of tension in there, and that's one of the cool things I like that they introduced in that. That's one of the elements that I thought the last couple of movies like really tried doing, but really fucked up bad.
Yeah.
In those elements, because like it was always just following the same Raimi trope of he's a father figure turned bad, and that's it.
Yeah, that was really fucking generic, and I'm really glad they didn't go with that. If it just felt like a legitimate hero villain, I was almost upset. Like, I was really shocked when he opened the door because they did not hint once that it was like this is his family, this is his daughter. That was something like to the end of the movie, really. And when he opens the door, you heard the shock go through everybody. Like, even I went, oh shit, out loud. And that's how you do a good twist. But that twist has been done. So I was a little like, and then the more I went on, I'm like, no, this is good. This is a good thing. This movie was all about breathing new life into a Marvel superhero movie, but into a Spider-Man movie as well. And it worked. It was just good.
It really did. I mean, that's like it did stuff that, as a Spider-Man fan, I was really appreciative of. Again, I kind of mentioned how the other films didn't really kind of do that sort of stuff, and this kind of harkened back a little bit to like what they did with, like, you know, Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 or
Yeah.
the Green Goblin, where it's like they set up a strong villain and then a decent connection enough to him, and then they fight, and then there's a kind of drama in between them.
Yeah. As much as, I give the original trilogy a lot of shit, those first two movies were pretty decent. Like, Spider-Man 2 is pretty damn good.
Oh yeah,
But I still say this was the best one for sure.
I would put it up with Spider-Man 2. I'm only saying that just because I want to see how this does afterward, like when I do repeated viewings and everything like that. Because, this is us just coming right out of the fucking movie.
But you know what the thing is? Like, I've watched all of the Spider-Man movies in theaters. This was the first time I was this connected to it. This is the first time I was like, I really like this. This is done right. Everything felt right about it. I think the only problems we'd have if we go back and watch it again would be like little minor things that happened, like
Yeah.
the whole like Mary Jane scenario, which isn't a spoiler because everyone knows Zendaya is fucking Mary Jane.
Yeah,
where it's like, you can call me MJ. They hit it over with the goddamn Robin from Dark Knight Rises. Like, my friends call me MJ. I was like, you should use your real name, Robin. But yeah, it was pretty sweet. This movie really made me realize though how important a good villain is.
Yeah.
Like, I've noticed that when you come out of a movie, as much as heroes are fun, don't you notice that, like, it's always the good villain that becomes quotable? It's always the villain that's, like, the more memorable character.
Oh yeah.
Like,
of
the
course.
good villain, of course.
Oh yeah. Well, the good villains are always kind of like interesting. I think it's because as much as we want to relate to a hero, we always kind of see ourselves as that villain because, like, they always cut to our sympathy where it's like, we've been fucked over so many times that we just said, fuck it. I want to be the one who fucks people over.
Right.
Like, there's a sympathy to that. Like, if you get a good villain right, either there's two kind of villains that I always like. One who's just unabashedly evil, doesn't give a fuck, and enjoys it.
Your
Those
Joker.
yeah, they're always fun to watch because they're just, you just want to see them get punched so fucking bad.
Yeah.
And then there's the ones that are like the realistic, like, sympathetic people with, like, goals. They don't really look at themselves as villains. They're more or less just trying to make a goal to either better someone else's life or their own life, except that involves fucking over a lot of people
Yeah,
and doing tons and tons of horrible things.
There's a quote, it's kind of been overdone, like a lot of people have said it in different ways, but essentially it's like we're all the heroes of our own story. So a lot of villains don't really perceive themselves as villains. I've always hated the villain that was just like, I'm evil and I'm doing things for evil reasons. You're not evil. No one believes they're evil. Like, if you wake up every day, like, say, I don't know, say you believe that baby seals, I know this is like the 3 millionth baby seal clubbing joke that we've done, but like, say you think baby seals are the root of all evil, and you go up, you club the fuck out of baby seals every morning. Everyone else around you is like, wow, this guy's fucking evil, but in your head, you're doing the world justice because you think you're getting rid of evil. Or like, you're robbing a bank because you're trying to provide for your family, or maybe it's because you think that bank is corrupt and you're trying to teach them a lesson. There's no one who's robbing a bank because the devil made me do it, or like, I'm evil.
Well,
Like,
unless they go to trial, then that's when they try to
yeah,
use that
yeah,
as an
they'll pull
example.
that off. But like, that's what it is. Like, no one is just flat out fucking evil. Like, they all think that what they're doing is right, or that they need to do it. It's
Yeah, 'cause
not
that's
like,
more of like the realistic kind of interpretation of like a villain, if you really think about it.
right. Like, you could see, like Toombs in this one, for example. His first thing wasn't just like, yeah, let's steal shit. Like, he was a regular working guy. He had a job. He was a regular good dude. And like, even after he got fired, he didn't immediately jump into, stealing shit. But he was kind of looking, and he was like, you know what? Fuck them. Let's keep the stuff we already have, which transforms into, yeah, let's fucking rob this stuff too. We can make a bunch of money. Like, if they're gonna fuck us over, let's fuck them over. Because that was the thing. He really was the one who got screwed first. So it was kind of like he just did to, Damage Control and to Stark what they did to him.
Yeah, basically.
And that's how you make a good villain, because it's one of those things where you want to see them defeated because they are the villain, but at the same time, I was sitting there going, he's kind of justified. Like, I don't blame him for this, especially if he was going to lose his house and was going to, like, lose his money and go bankrupt and stuff. Like, yeah, fuck him. Stark doesn't need that money.
fuck Tony
Yeah,
Stark.
fuck Tony Stark. He's a piece of shit.
Fuck him and his Ultron making ass.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I find it really funny that they got Iron Man to be the fucking mentor for Spider-Man in this, because if anyone needs a fucking mentor, it's Iron Man right
He
now.
just like looks to Peter. He's like, Peter, don't make robots. But don't make robots. Don't give them sentience. They'll go crazy. Buy an alien gem. Don't do it.
You're right. Tony Stark's really the biggest villain in Marvel right now, if you really think about it.
Well, I mean, technically it's Cap right now, but that's a totally different fucking thing.
I'm talking about the universe,
Yeah.
the cinematic universe. I mean,
That's another rant for another fucking day.
that's
man.
fair. At least he's not a Nazi.
That's true. He's just an asshole.
Hey, you be an asshole. At least you're not a Nazi. That's all right. But I'm really thinking about it, and it's just like let's take Star Wars for example, right?
Yeah.
Who's the most memorable character in Star Wars history?
Oh, easily Darth Vader.
It's Darth Vader. And it's like, you look at the two, like, main forces. You have Darth Vader, you have Luke Skywalker. Everyone knows a Darth Vader quote, even though they don't say it correctly, because it's not, Luke, I am your father, but everyone says it like that. But every single person you know, if you walked up to them and you said, do something Darth Vader could do, they could at least do, like, the breathing ththing. He's an iconic character. If you walked up to them and you said, say something Luke Skywalker said, you're going to get a shitload of silence. Because it's just like, oh, they could scream no. That's pretty much it. Or kiss their sister on the mouth. Like, that's pretty much what you got. And you could argue, like, with Spider-Man, the most quotable line is fucking, Uncle Ben, but that's because it's been hammered into our heads. Because, let's face it right now, what was the most quotable line out of the first Spider-Man movie? Or no, the second Spider-Man movie? It was fucking Avenge Me! Like, because it's so over the top. You could argue that was because it's Willem Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe was just made to be quoted.
Oh yeah, he.
I want to party with Willem Dafoe. I'd probably die, but I want to party with Willem Dafoe.
I don't know, man. Like that would have to be a sober party. I pictured drunk Willem Dafoe as just too crazy to maintain, man.
Dude, do you see? Okay, what I meant is just like my party. I think it's like I bet you could go to a book club with Willem Dafoe, and you'd walk out of there, your hair all fucked up, one of your eyes like more dilated than the other one, just on some David Bowie shit, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? I just sat down to talk about Moby Dick, then I did 3 bumps of coke. Willem Dafoe, if you're out there, give us a call.
Don't stop what you're doing, man. Just don't stop.
Be you. I want to party with you. Be you.
Keep it up, man. Seriously, you're amazing.
This is so stupid.
So how do y'all like our new format?
Can you tell it's late? Can you tell it's late? Because it's fucking late.
Like, it's kind of weird to go from like villains and talking about Spider-Man: Homecoming, because there is a lot of good stuff in Spider-Man: Homecoming besides villain. But I think that's the one that stuck out for me the most because like the MCU doesn't have a lot of good villains.
Right.
Like most of them are just kind of throwaway, generic shit. Really, they're
like,
just kind of like
yeah, you're right. Because like I talk about Thor: Dark World a lot. Because like I didn't even fucking know Malekith was the villain until I learned about it after. Like, after I was done watching the movie, I was like, who the fuck was that? They're like, oh, it's Malekith. I'm like, that was fucking Malekith. I didn't even realize who the fuck the villain was, because he was so damn forgettable.
yeah. Honestly, Malekith was just shit.
Yeah, he was really forgettable.
He was disposable. It's the same thing with Michael Mads from Doctor Strange. He's just there to be a threat and then be disposable for just there. He's just there as a villain.
Dude, did you say Michael Mads? You mean Mads Mikkelsen?
Mads Mikkelsen. God damn it.
You are the worst with names. Like, not to shit on you on the podcast, but you are the fucking worst with names.
Well, anyway, Mads Mikkelsen's character of Guy was kind of disappointing, considering that like he's a really good actor, and if you've seen like other like performances he's done, especially his Hannibal, where he's played a big bad guy, you know the guy can do a really good performance.
Yeah, he's a very talented actor.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the trend's been for the MCU a little bit. It's like get a talented actor and put him in a role that has some like interesting concepts, but they don't really kind of do shit with it. Like the only one that's ever really like gone up, if we're just talking the movies, not the Netflix series, has been Loki, because One, he has an interesting backstory. Two, he has an interesting motive. And three,
Tom Hiddleston is hot and girls want to bang him.
yes, that is also another
let's,
reason.
Let's be real. That's the main reason Loki's been like as big as he is.
Yeah, he's
though,
he's marketable and fuckable.
Yeah, though Loki's fuckable. But like the thing is though, Loki, like Tom Hiddleston's Loki is phenomenal. It's a great character. It's a great performance. It deserves the praise that it gets. I just feel like it doesn't get it from the right place. I feel like it's a lot of like, oh, I could fix him. I'd be with Loki. I'm like, Loki would slit your fucking throat.
But yeah, like aside from really Loki, I mean, I can't really say anything about Thanos because he has an intimidating voice. He looks intimidating, but he's just sat in a fucking chair for
Yeah.
like a good portion of his appearances. So I can't really say anything about him until Infinity War. So there's that. But with Adrian Toome, it's definitely a step in the right direction, I think. Like, maybe it's not the most developed kind of, like, guy in certain things, but you get the reasoning for what he's doing. You understand why he's doing it, and there's some good, like, tension between him and the good guy. And that's what you need for a villain.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you could feel how much Toombs hated Parker. Not even like hated, just like despised him. It was one of those things where he was just looking at him like, oh, you're the one who's fucked up my last 2 jobs. You're the one that's been messing with me this entire time. Alright, because like you can tell too, there's actually a point where he flat out goes, alright, now I'm going to kill him. Because like, he wasn't even trying to kill him, he was just trying to get rid of him. I mean, you could argue the first time that he attacked him, he was straight up trying to kill him because he dumped him, he dropped him from like fucking like a couple 100 feet in the air into a fucking pond wrapped in a parachute. Like he was trying to put him down, but you know, it was just one of those things where he was like, you know what? Yeah, now I'm gonna kill him. you can see the annoyance, like the irritation mounting in him, and you could feel it. Like you could feel the tension rise in the theater. It was just like, oh, he wasn't trying to. He wasn't trying to kill him. Oh, shit. What is he going to do now?
Yeah, it's that kind of unpredictability that I like in villains, especially in a lot of the other Spider-Man movies. I feel like they've done that. But more or less the first 2, because, like, 3 really fucked it up. They really tried to go for the sympathetic villain. Didn't really work out. Then they tried to have the evil psycho villain. Didn't really work out.
But Dan, his daughter's sick.
I don't care. He's a sand monster. I don't give a
Dust
shit.
in the wind.
By the way, I shot your uncle. Sorry I fucked you up. Bye.
Goodbye! Like, that ending pissed me off so much. That's how you fuck up a villain right there.
That's how you fuck up, well, aside from just showing him in for like 15 minutes and then blowing him up.
Fair. Well, Venom's a different thing. Venom's not... I don't even acknowledge Venom's in that movie, honestly, because it just wasn't good. But, like, with Sandman easily could have just been Sandman, and it would have been a much more effective villain. Like, because I'm all for him, you know, robbing banks and stealing shit because his daughter's sick and he wants to, you know, get her, you know, the stuff that she needs.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't want Peter Parker to meet up with him at the end of it and be like, hey, so, you kind of been, you know, fucking people up, kind of been fucking me up. You've been taking a bunch of money. You kidnapped my girlfriend. You tried to kill me on the news. And now I found out you shot my uncle. But you know what? Your daughter's sick, and I can tell you're an honorable man. Fuck you! He killed the other guy. The other guy wasn't even the dude who shot him. So I'm just in here, and I'm like, So you murdered the other guy, but it's supposed to be like Parker's grown too, like Peter's he's more mature and he's learned to forgive. Fuck that shit. Send his ass to jail.
I want to see that too. It's like, so you're gonna forgive me? Yeah. From a jail cell, motherfucker. Flip, flip.
I wanted to see where it's like he had another one of those detonators that he killed Venom with, and he was like, "Yeah, totally." And then,
or he just does what he does in the comics and uses a fucking vacuum cleaner to suck him up. Not shitting you. That's actually how he defeats the Sandman in his first appearance. He uses Spider-Man uses a fucking vacuum cleaner.
That's amazing. Can I say how awesome it would be though? Like going back to what I was saying, if they did that like dust in the wind exit that he did, and as he was going away, Spidey has one of those detonators and he just fucking throws it into it and blows him up, and it's just like fuck you. Because like, that just pisses me off. I'm like, okay, so you killed the first guy, who you could still kind of argue was the reason Uncle Ben got. I don't know. I think it's kind of dumb that it's like he got bumped and he pulled the trigger. That just doesn't make sense.
It was a dumb
to me.
retcon. It was a dumb fucking retcon that didn't need to happen. It was
It
only
really didn't.
pushed there to just add the stakes of like Spider-Man really needs to beat up the Sandman when there really doesn't need to be. He's just a fucking villain who has superpowers and hurts people. That's all you really need. You don't need to make it like super personal. Like I've known sometimes a personal villain can really work. Sometimes it does work, and then sometimes they just really try so hard. You know, the Joker shot Batman's parents is an example from
Yeah,
Tim Burton
yeah.
Batman, where it's just like
Bullshit.
yeah, you don't need that sometimes. It's a crazy guy.
Wow, Michael Keaton has been in a lot of interesting movies with villains.
A lot of things where he's a flying animal,
Yeah, he's been.
striking fear into people.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Because he was Batman, then he was Birdman,
And now he's the Vulture. He's got quite a career.
Oh my God! Actually, you know what? I think I saw a meme somebody made it. Not a meme. It was like an image somebody made of that, and they called him the King of Wing, like the King of Wings. I'm like, that's pretty accurate. I'm actually really glad Michael Keaton's had this like sudden resurgence because he was really good and he was just kind of gone for a while.
Yeah.
And then like when Birdman happened, he started like blowing up again.
I'm really glad too, because hey, we wouldn't have gotten him in this movie, and I'm really fucking glad.
Yeah, he killed it. I always say Michael Keaton is was one of my favorite Batman performers, and he's one of my favorite comic movie villains now. Just really well done.
Yeah.
Props to you, Mr. Keaton. Let's party with you someday too.
And Willem Dafoe. Let's make it fucking crazy.
Oh
Fucking
my
Michael
God.
Keaton gets high, he screeches like a bird, and Willem Dafoe just looks at you going like, avenge me.
Oh my God, dude! So we're gonna get Green Goblin and Vulture up in this. Are we gonna do a Sinister Six up in this bitch?
Nah, that's never gonna fall through.
Well, we don't have to film it. We don't have to film it.
Well, they tried to, but it keeps falling through because they had to cancel.
So that's what we'll do. We'll get the Sinister
But
Six
we are gonna get
together.
Venom. We are gonna get Venom.
True.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm interested because like, isn't Tom Hardy supposed to be Venom?
I have no idea. And
So I can't wait. Like, I think they actually confirmed that Tom Hardy is playing Venom. Like, I've seen a lot of stuff on it. So
Like,
I'm really looking forward to about 5 or 6 months when Tom Hardy pulls out and we get fucking was it Jai Courtney as
Hey, he has his own spider sense. It's called a fucking script detector. Whee! Oh shit! Gotta avoid. I'm doing Mad Max. Whee! Oh god! Sony Venom movie. I'm gonna do Mad Max again.
he
Whee!
Matrix.
That's his own
Yeah.
spider sense.
And
Avoiding shitty movies. for
Jai
last
Courtney's
minute.
got a fucking alarm that goes off whenever Tom Hardy turns down the script.
I want to picture that it's like the Adam West bat phone. Yeah. Like anytime he gets a call, what's up, Commissioner? Tom Hardy dropped from a roll. I'm on my way.
Dude, I want it to be like the bookcase opens up and it's got like the firebolt. He like jumps in and goes down. He's still dressed the same when he gets down, or like he's dressed as the character. He's got a T-shirt that says "I'm Tom Hardy" on it.
I want to picture like his fucking version of the Batmobile is just a sedan.
It's a minivan. It's got a trash bag window.
Revving up turbine engines. Fuck.
Fuck. All right, I have to rotate the key a couple times to make it work.
Honey, can you cut it out? I got a movie role to do. Tom Hardy said no again.
It's just him running. He just runs there from his house.
Yeah, but man, this has been a very interesting podcast, I will say.
I honestly don't mind it. I kind of like not having to put on the fucking like, hey guys, listen to the podcast. We thought for 5 hours about this topic, and we're only going to talk about this topic.
So
We're interesting people.
very interesting people that you could possibly subscribe to and like and share these podcasts. Huh? Wink, wink. Sponsored by Krispy Kreme, Disney, Nike, and Sony. Maybe.
All of them, please.
All of them, please.
Check out this month's Loot Crate.
Sponsored by Readable.com and all these other.
Yeah, check out this month's loot crate and Dollar Shave Club. You can type in the code. I don't know, Planet Buster Radio. That's all one word, and you won't get any discount because that code isn't real.
And also buy your things at Card Kingdom, which you can also get through a Planet Buster code, and buy some Ultra Pro sleeves.
Bro, this is just gonna be like us shelling out every ad until eventually one of them's like, well, I mean, they said it, so.
I guess so.
I would shit my pants if Krispy Kreme Donuts was like, hey, so you heard you said it on the podcast.
We took Power Rangers over, and hey, you guys fucking talked about that a lot, so.
We're one of the 3 listeners you had on this podcast, so we'd like to sponsor you.
So hopefully you got some entertainment in our long rambling about Spider-Man Homecoming, which I think we both liked. I don't even think this is so much of a review.
It wasn't. I mean, like, this is pretty much what podcasts are now. It's just a bunch of people getting on and talking about their day or just kind of randomly bullshitting, so.
Pretty much, and, hopefully you got some entertainment
Dude,
out.
topics are hard.
Topics are hard.
We think about those all the time, and then eventually, like, we're going to get a topic one day that we're going to do a full podcast on, but sometimes it's fun to just come down and just ramble.
Yeah, I mean, we've dealt with, the last couple ones dealt with some serious shit, and it's kind of fun to just bullshit around for a bit.
Right.
Here in the Spaceman,
I was the spaceman. I forgot Eric came up with that. Yeah, and I was scratching my beard by the mic, so you guys can get your jollies in. All right, man. Let's bring the cows home.
So, my name is Dan.
I'm Shane, and we'll see you next time. If you liked this recent episode of Planet Buster, be sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down letting us know what you think. Also, be sure to check out our website, planetbustergo.com, and check out our Facebook. Also, be sure to check out our friend Brody Milne. He's the dude who made our sweet new theme song. So until next time, see you, Space Cadets.